Hello everyone, Thempire Ian here for more new elestrals cards. We've got a week's worth of reveals from Moonrise. I said I was going to do this on like Saturday, but I was visiting relatives on Saturday, very tired on Sunday, so here we are on Monday doing it, and I think it just kind of works out because we actually have a full week here almost. So let's start with Night Venom and Ectoplasm.
5 new Lunar cards today as we
And then
count
some.
down every day until Moonrise pre-orders open on November 15th.
All right, so 5 new cards for Moonrise.
First up, a brand new Lunar Elestral called Hypnosum. Hypnosum is a
Hypnosum.
one-attack
I like the look of this guy. Like, he's really cute.
Super cool effect. When this Hypnosum is destroyed, you can special cast it from your underworld in attack position Misenchanted.
That seems not particularly good.
From your field,
I don't think so.
With a different element.
Don't like it.
So that gives you some really cool potential for Ascension decks down the road. Keep an eye on Hypnosum. And this little guy does have an Ascension. It ascends into
now this guy Ectoplasm seems quite strong.
Today, but you will throughout the rest of
what is that? That card looks interesting. Let's see. Maybe we'll see it today. I don't know.
When this Ectoplasm is sent from your hand or deck to the underworld, you can expend a Lunar Spirit in order to special cast it from your underworld with 2 Lunar Spirits. The gears might be turning in your head, but
incredible.
This can turbo
this is good for basically any 2 Lunar 3-drop.
I think there's a lot of really cool synergy that you're going to see get enlightened over the
Pharaohgeist, of course. I'm always excited about Pharaohgeist. We saw this in the leak, and he's still quite good, I think.
2 more for you, but I've got to tell you that if you back our Elestrals Clash Kickstarter right now over $25, you get the Kickstarter promo pack with an exclusive set of stellar rares and full arts.
Should I start editing videos like this?
You can actually get a stellar Ectoplasm in that awesome promo pack, so do not miss out. This is a card you're going to definitely want in your collection. Next up, this Elestral was teased in one of our Daybreak arts, and that is Toxiri. Yes, Toxion and Toxiswarm actually
he's in there.
Nexus form. This time,
it's funny, he is in there.
Attack and 4 defense, the more defensive of the 3 Nexus forms. When you cast this Toxiri, you can search your deck for a Dense Fog and add it to your hand.
That's quite good.
Dense Fog is searchable. A card
Dense Fog is a decently strong card, especially if we start seeing more game plan style decks where you want to negate them.
Of new Lunar Elestrals, we'll have to see how much play Dense Fog gets.
That's the other thing, though. It's like because it doesn't work on Lunars, the more Lunars are good, which would mean the more play that Dense Fog would be able to see, the less Dense Fog is going to actually do.
So look to combo up your Artemis and your Toxiri when Moonrise releases.
The minuses are pretty strong, though, I will say, especially in combination with like Spectaris. All right, here's the evolution.
Then Night Venom, a 6 attacker with 6 defense, 2 Lunar Elestral, where you can discard a Dense Fog in order to target and destroy up to 2 cards. While you have at least
that gives Dense Fog like more things to do. That's quite interesting.
That means if you can use
that's nice too. A little bit of a Towers effect for a 2-drop. A little bit of a Towers effect seems quite good.
Incredible protection and a very strong stat line at 6/6. Look for Night Venom to do some damage.
Yeah, I like this guy. Yeah.
Excited for these brand new Lunar Elestrals coming in Moonrise, and don't forget to check out our awesome Kickstarter.
I guess the 5th card was the Stellar.
Right, we post
sure.
Moonrise reveals a day early on Kickstarter if you are a backer, so don't miss out. It's been so hype, man. I cannot wait to show you guys more. So stay tuned for tomorrow. Check
that's it. And yeah, you do get to see them early. We're not going to do the early one for the Kickstarter. We're just going to do the ones that are revealed publicly so far.
I'm about to reveal
next up is Volclips.
Strategies we've ever created in a Lestrals card game.
We got
ready for
4 more of these videos. So we got like a six videos in total. It's almost a full week.
Before we jump into today's reveals, I just want to take a second and say thank you guys for your incredible support on our Kickstarter campaign for Elestrals Clash. We are officially fully funded at the time of me recording this video, and closing
pretty cool.
on 300,000, which
we'll definitely be seeing Clash.
By the time you guys see this.
And we are past 300,000. Last I saw, we were at 350, but I think we're probably past that. Like, I don't know where exactly we are yet. I haven't checked.
We still have time to get into this project, get all of these epic tiers, get all these epic rewards, and be a part of us building something incredible. So thank you guys so much for helping us fund Elestrals Clash. I can't wait to see how this campaign goes. Enjoy the Moonrise reveals.
Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
Let's kick this one off with the brand new Lunar Elestral Voldusk.
Voldusk
is a 1-attacker with 5 defense that has
not bad.
Incredible effect.
That's the stat line already, not bad.
Phase, you can draw a card or return a Lunar Spirit from your underworld to your Spirit deck. This effect can be activated only twice each turn.
This is
And
crazy.
that also includes your opponent's turn.
This card is
as
crazy.
well. So this card
If
can hit
the
field
lunar
as an
phases are
incredible
good,
defensive
which we
wall
will be
with 5
seeing them
defense,
later,
and it can grant you incredible draw power.
Voldusk
or
is
healing
insane.
power while utilizing the lunar phase cards. Now, obviously,
Like,
this effect is only as good
incredible.
as the lunar phases are. So let me break it down for you. The lunar phase mechanics are some of the most ambitious cards that we've ever created.
Okay,
and
all
they
right.
span the 8 different lunar phases, taking advantage
It's funny.
of our titles in our game, which means that the cards
8 of
are
them is
named
a
lunar
crazy
phase, but
amount.
they
I
all
made a
have
joke
different
about how many
title
there was going
that
to
goes
be.
through
I
the
thought there was going to be
8
like 3
phases
of them.
the moon, allowing you to play
But no, they're doing
up to
all
3
8 phases,
copies of
just like
each of these
there's
cards
going
in
to
your
be
deck
a waning
capitalize
gibbous, like I
and
joked about.
maximize on this strategy.
That's crazy.
It is going to be a comprehensive deck like you've never seen before, and I can't wait to share more with you in tomorrow's video. But first, I will
Okay,
share one
yeah.
of them with you, and that is
We'll see that
Lunar
soon.
Phase New Moon. New Moon
Ooh,
is
okay,
a
New
1-cost
Moon.
invoke rune that says you can target an Elestral on the field and suppress it until the end phase, shutting off its effects.
Oh,
Then
pretty
you
good,
may
yeah.
spend a Lunar Spirit equal to the targeted card's enchantment cost and discard a Lunar Phase. If you do, destroy it. So you
Wow.
can actually expend Lunar Spirits equal to that card's enchantment cost and just discard a Lunar Phase, which again, you'll have a ton of in your deck, and you get to destroy an Elestral with this card. This is
really
incredible
interesting.
removal, and it sets the stage for what Voldusk can do while providing you an insane draw engine, or essentially reducing the cost of some of these cards.
Yeah,
Like I
this
said,
seems
when I peel
quite
the whole curtain
powerful.
back on the 8 different
If the
lunar
rest of the
phases,
lunar
I think
phases
a
are
lot
as
of
good
you
as
guys are gonna
New
be really
Moon,
stoked. I think this is gonna be a fun deck
we
to
could be
explore
seeing
with
like
a
a
really unique
almost like a
identity,
Sky
and I
Striker
can't be
kind
more
of
excited
deck
about what we could get from
with
this. I wanna give a shout
Voldusk
out to Words and
and
Jack Yomu. We
a
worked
whole
really
bunch of
hard
lunar
on brewing this
phases.
together with the rest of our testing team, and this is a really cool endeavor for our game. I hope you guys love it as much as we do. Let's talk about the next
And that's
card
your
in the
deck?
line, and that is Volumbra. Volumbra
Okay,
is
here's the
to
Ascension.
Voldusk, and it is a 5 attacker with 7 defense with an incredibly powerful effect. When you discard a lunar phase during your main phase,
Which
you can
seems like
special
lunar
ascend
phases
your
do.
Voldusk to this Volumbra from your hand. So you're
Okay.
gonna have to figure out how you want to discard those lunar phases, but there are going to be some cards that allow that to happen a little bit easier, as you've already seen with Lunar Phase New Moon. When
Yeah.
you cast Lunar Phase Full Moon, you can special ascend this Volumbra to Volclipse from your deck. So you have
Oh.
the opportunity to play Full Moon, which you guys
This,
don't know about yet. You don't know what it does yet, but it's very good. You get to play Full Moon, and then you can actually turbo
This card does not
into
seem very
Volclipse
good, because
for
you
final
when you
ascension
ascend
to this incredible
Voldusk
Lunar
into
Elestral
that,
line. Let's talk about
you
Volclipse.
lose the Voldusk
Volclipse,
effect,
the
which is
Lunar
crazy.
Cycle Elestral comes to the field with 6 attack and 12 defense as a 3
Kind of
lunar, and it
terrible
represents all
stats.
of the different lunar phases. An incredible Elestral design with an incredibly powerful effect. This Volclipse gets +1 attack for each different title among lunar phase in your underworld. So there's 8 different lunar phases that you can play. If
Okay,
you have all
that makes
8
more
different ones in
sense.
your underworld, this gets 8 attack added to it. Then you can shuffle 8 lunar phases with different titles, so all 8 of them, from your underworld into your deck to return your entire opponent's field back to their hand, and then you have the opportunity with Volclipse to attack.
I mean,
and
that's like
deal
a
some massive
powerful
damage. An incredibly
effect,
powerful
but
and I will say
He said-
that
he
getting
said-
those
he said it too.
phases to the underworld is not as crazy of a task as it may seem, because you
But
can probably
it is,
guess that
though.
some of them will enable some of that
But it is,
gameplay to
though.
allow it to happen
Like,
a little bit easier.
even
Volclipse is
just
gonna be
getting
a menace. I
Volclipse
think
on the
this card has a lot of
field
potential
is a
to be
5-card
incredibly
combo.
powerful in Moonrise,
You need
and the lunar
Voldusk, you need the
phases are
second
most
stage,
certainly
you
gonna
need
make a
2
splash
lunars
when
and
Moonrise hits.
lunar
So
full
get
moon
ready for those
specifically.
pre-orders, 'cause this is gonna be so hype on November 15th when we open those up.
That's
Don't
5
forget,
cards to
Kickstarter
get to
backers
Volclipse.
get to watch these reveals 1 day early, so make sure you check out Elestrals Clash.
And then you need to
Right now
somehow
on
get
Kickstarter, it's gonna
the
be so
other
hype. I can't wait to have Moonrise and Elestrals Clash, and we're all playing together.
5
It's gonna be crazy, man. We're really doing some big
lu-
things, and I want to thank everybody who's
lunar
been supporting. Get
state
excited for Voldusk,
stages,
and stay tuned for
lunar
tomorrow's
phases to
reveal
the
with
grave.
all 8 lunar phases, and we're gonna put the whole puzzle together, and it's gonna be crazy. It's
That
gonna be so much
no,
fun. Thank you
I'm
guys.
not
I'll
doing
see y'all
that.
tomorrow.
You cannot convince me to do that. I will play Voldusk. I will play Voldusk Control, and I will never play any of the other pieces of the Voldusk line at all. There's no way. You cannot convince me. Well, I guess let's see what the lunar phases are.
Time for us to break down all 8 lunar phases in
See if it's even worth
Moonrise.
playing Voldusk
Get
in the
ready.
first place.
Volclipse is here. This is day 4 of us counting down Moonrise reveals every single day until pre-orders
Day
open on
4. Give it
November
up for
15th.
day
And we've got
4.
some epic reveals for you guys today. If you missed yesterday, we revealed
Epic
Voldusk,
reveals.
Volumbra, Volclipse, and Lunar Phase New Moon, a brand new deck type that you can build around with 8 different titled lunar phases that all have different functionality, and we're going to break
Again,
that all down
I will
for you
not
guys
play those
today.
other two.
Just a quick
Volumbra,
recap, Voldusk
Volclipse,
allows you
they
to
don't
draw or
exist.
reveal every time you play a lunar
Voldusk is
phase.
the only one that
Volumbra
exists.
can special
It's the only one that's
ascend out your
real.
Voldusk or turbo into Volclipse, and Volclipse can bounce an entire opponent's field back to their hand if you can return all 8 lunar phases from your underworld back to your deck. Now let's break down those lunar phases. One thing I want you guys to pay attention to.
I like that he's saying turbo into Volclips. Konami would never say turbo into any boss monster. It's so fun that he's actually like a guy who uses our lingo.
New Moon, we talked about yesterday, a brand new invoke rune that suppresses an Elestral, and that has the opportunity to actually destroy that Elestral if you could find a way to discard a lunar phase and pay a little bit more of a cost. Up next in our lunar
That's a pretty
phase
good one.
cycle is Waxing Crescent, which is a
Waxing
counter
Crescent
rune with 2 lunar spirits. You can target a lunar enchanted Elestral and give it +1 attack until the end phase for each lunar phase in all underworlds. That means you can buff up your lunar enchanted Elestral for every single lunar phase in your your opponent's
that card's awful.
It's incredibly powerful, especially if you're running the
please tell me there's other good lunar phases. I think we need like, I want to say we need like 3 or 4 good lunar phases to make the deck work.
First quarter is a 1-cost counter rune that says draw a card. So it's simply you just draw a card.
Okay, that's fine. Wait, it's a counter rune? Hold. It's a counter rune that says draw a card. No way. No way, dude. Come on.
To return a Voldusk, Volumbra, or Volclips from your underworld to your hand. You might be starting to see
okay, that might be worth it just to get Voldusk back into your grip. If you're doing the Voldusk control kind of thing.
Actually a secondary effect, and they're really
just
incredible when
getting it back by discarding a lunar phase might be worth.
And how it all can kind of tie together. It's very cool. So again, you can simply draw a card, and then you have the opportunity to discard a lunar phase to be able to get a card back to your hand. Very valuable tool to keep your Voldusk onto the field and ensure that you can take maximum advantage of your lunar phases by either reducing their cost or adding draw power into the game. Up next, another counter rune, and these lunar phases are
I like this music they got going.
Runes. This one is a 1-cost counter rune that says you can target
Waxing
a lunar
Gibbous
enchanted Elestral and change its position. So if you find your Voldusk caught out in attack position,
that's
and you
awful.
want to switch it to defense, you can. Or if you're playing up against a lunar deck, you have the opportunity to switch their lunar enchanted Elestrals to defense. Could be very powerful, but then you have
could
the
it be?
to
I don't
expend
think
a
so.
lunar spirit to discard a lunar phase from your hand. If you do, the targeted Elestral cannot be destroyed by card effects once this turn. I'll let the gear.
I feel like the effects are backwards, right? It should be the first, that second effect should be the first effect, and that first effect should be the second effect, right? To make this a good card, I mean. Weird.
Spit on that one, but you might be able to tell that Waxing Gibbous has the potential to be an incredibly disruptive card when paired with other lunar phases. You can discard them out of your hand, and then you can actually prevent that Elestral that you're saving, that you just changed its position. You can actually prevent it from being destroyed against opponents' card effects. Absolutely nuts. Waxing Gibbous. It's time to reveal Full Moon, one of the most powerful lunar cards in the game. This card is going to be nuts. It is a 1-cost counter rune that says enchant up to 2 lunar spirits to an Elestral on your field. That means you can pick any one of your Elestrals and just give them 2 lunar spirits, which increases the damage that you can deal to your opponent.
Yeah.
You can work with stadium cards and various
if it did it from grave, I'd say this is a good card.
Spirits they have on them. This card has so much potential, and I have a feeling you guys are going to be very familiar with Lunar Phase Full Moon, because these lunar phases, they function in a core deck together, but a few of them can kind of function on their own outside of the Lunar Phase deck, and I think Full Moon is one.
That's true. I think Full Moon in a Pharaohgeist Turbo deck could be really funny.
Phase, you can foretell 3. So another little benefit here.
You just get to rearrange the top 3 cards of your deck.
Other lunar phases. When you discard Lunar Phase Full Moon, you get a foretell effect, so you can kind of plan your next couple turns out, which also synergizes with some other interesting cards in Moonrise. So keep an eye out for
I'll keep an eye out for that then.
Like I said, you're gonna know this card for sure.
Yeah, I don't know about this.
Into the Invoke Rune Suites of the lunar phases. Waning Gibbous is
Waning Gibbous, the one I joked about.
Simply says shuffle a lunar phase, Volumbra, or Volclips from your
this one's good.
or underworld into your deck.
This one's good.
Search your deck for a Voldusk and add it to your hand. One of the most important pieces of the lunar phase
so that's like
is the
3 playables, I think, at least. So I think there's something here. You can do a Voldusk deck here, because I think there's at least 3 playables in the lunar phase, and 3 copies of each. That's like not bad.
No matter what happens, this essentially gives you 3.
I would really like 4 though. Can we get like 4 playables?
Card from your hand or underworld into your deck to ensure that you can maximize the different.
I mean, I guess you could play Full Moon. It's not awful.
We've got 2 more, and this next one is Final Quarter, and this one is going to really give you some insight into how Volclips is going.
You know what?
to work.
Actually,
This is a 1-cost invoke.
Now that I'm thinking about it, the one that switches position would actually be good for this deck, because Voldusk has like no attack stat at all, but it has a really beefy defense stat. So if you're using Voldusk to get in for damage, for like chip damage, in this control strategy, just being able to switch it to defense to prevent it from being run over is not bad. Maybe we do play that.
That
All
says
right.
you can search your deck for up to 2 Lunar Phase and send them to your underworld. So
I don't know about this one.
Requires you to get to 8 Lunar Phases with different titles in your
However, the
underworld for
discard
effect to
effect is
activate,
quite
and Final
strong,
Order is
so
gonna give
maybe
you the
we do play
opportunity
this
to get
one.
2 of them right there automatically by just using this effect. Incredibly powerful, and the fact that you can play this card and draw an additional card with Voldusk or heal and essentially play it for free allows this engine to thrive. When this Lunar Phase is discarded by another Lunar Phase, you can return a Lunar Spirit from your underworld to your Spirit deck. So an extra payoff there as well if this is the card you choose to throw away to your underworld with the Lunar Phase discard.
That was
effects.
probably
Lunar
worth
Phase,
playing.
Final quarter and a crucial piece of the Lunar Phase deck. And last but not least is Lunar Phase Waning Crescent. This is a 1-cost invoke rune that says you can return up to 2 Lunar Phases
this
from
was
your
crazy.
underworld to your Spirit deck. This gives you the opportunity
this
to
one's
essentially
insane.
heal +1. But again, when paired with Voldusk, it's a heal 2 or it's a heal 1 plus draw 1. When this Lunar Phase is discarded by another Lunar Phase, you can draw a card, then discard a card. So again, adding to the draw engine.
Yeah, this one's
adding to
insane.
the consistency engine of Lunar Phase, all looking to build up to that final payoff of getting your Vol Clips out, returning your opponent's field to their hand, and then being able to deal massive damage. As I mentioned, the Lunar Phases work best in tandem with Voldusk, Volumbra, and Vol Clips, but there's going to be
or just
plenty of
Voldusk
strategies to explore throughout Moonrise.
I think something interesting with you could do Voldusk and Spectaris. Is that an evolution of Spectaris there in that full art, by the way?
We put a lot of work into this mechanic, and it's a big step forward.
I think the monsters you'll be playing are Voldusk and Spectaris. Maybe you could consider playing one Volumbra, one Volclips, just for like a funny end, like just to close out a game or something. I don't know though. Those guys seem really hard to actually play with. You don't want to draw them ever, except for you have to get Volumbra in the hand though. I mean, you could search it though. There's searching in the deck for that. I think. Was there searching for Volumbra, or is it just searching for Voldusk? Anyways, I think this seems quite strong. Not all of those Lunar Phases seemed great, but you could just play one copy of each of the bad ones and send them with the one that Foolish Burial Goods to, I should say. All right, we got some Posthumous.
Posthumous. New starter deck and one of the best searchers we've ever had in Elestrals. This is our countdown of 32
That's
days
a heavy
until
promise.
Pre-orders open on November 15th.
I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot of searchers yet, but there's some pretty good ones.
Don't forget, you get these reveals a day early if you back our
That's true.
Kickstarter, so don't forget to back us, Elestrals Clash. But let's talk about it, man. We're going to get this kicked off with the brand new starter deck, Posthumous. I'm so excited for this Elestral. You guys saw it early in Shattered Stars.
We did.
This incredible stained
It's
glass
not very
art.
good.
And I got to give a shout out to Bex, our artist, for coming to me with this design. I absolutely love it. One of my favorite designs of the set. And I think this card is a lot more powerful than people give it credit for. It's going to be the highlight of our other Moonrise starter deck. So
I'm sure, dude.
The starter deck, Elestrals, and I'm going to give you guys some special treats as well, so don't you worry. But we're gonna kick it off with Fawnlit. Fawnlit is so
Fawnlit's good.
because it allows you to
Fawnlit's really good.
your Artemis on normal cast, and it also gets a defense buff for every Lunar Spirit enchanting your
I also
Artemis.
can get you
Artemis,
Theraheart, which we haven't seen yet, and I assume we're going to be seeing soon. Yeah, there's Artemis.
Fawnlit is crucial to get that search going. You can also search out Theraheart, its Ascension, which I know a lot of people have been waiting to see revealed, and that is a brand new Lunar Elestral with 2 Lunar
okay, here we go.
Spirits, 6 attack, 4 defense, and it says when a player activates a counter rune, you can disenchant 2 Lunar Spirits from your Artemis in order to negate that rune. Then you may special send this Theraheart to Posthumous.
What if I don't want to do that? What if I just want to
3-cost Posthumous by simply disenchanting 2 spirits from your Artemis?
Hold on to Theraheart?
Search that out. You can also utilize this effect to stop your own counter runes. So if you really wanted to turbo ascend into your Posthumous, you could activate the effect yourself. It's a little bit more expensive to do it that way in terms of spirit efficiency, but it can be done. Theraheart, a very powerful 2 cost Ascension
Stopping
tool.
the
And you
opponent
guys
from
already
playing
know about
any
Posture
counter
Boost,
runes.
a brand new Elestral. I love this card art, by the way. It's so incredible. The artwork across the entire set depicting Posthumous is truly brilliant. 13 attack.
I do like the art on
defense.
this guy,
It
yeah.
says that
No, I
when your
agree there.
Artemis suppresses a card, you can target and destroy that card. Incredibly powerful destruction that you essentially get once per turn as your
Unaffected by
Artemis
counter
works to
runes.
shut off cards across the field. While Artemis is enchanted, this Posthumous is unaffected by counter runes. Much like Waspivey's effect, this card cannot be touched. It does not shift to defense with Tsunami. It does not get bounced back by Shield or Gorgon's
Yeah, this
Gaze.
guy's not
Stop
particularly
its
good. That's the
attack.
thing, though.
Posthumous
Is like
is
I
a
don't know.
force to be
I don't know
reckoned
if Their
in
Heart actually
Moonrise
stops
when
anyone
paired
from
with
using
Artemis,
counter
and that
runes.
is partially due
And it
to
negates
a
the
new
one,
Celestial that we were
obviously,
revealing
but
as well.
they negate
As
the one
part
just
of
to get the
this,
Posthumous
we
out, and then they
started that
destroy
I
it
highlighted
with
this in
something
the
else,
XPO.
like
These
an
starter decks
invoke
are
rune or
incredible,
something.
man. I
You
cannot
know?
wait to reveal the full list for them because I think you guys are gonna be like, wow, I can't believe they made these starter decks so good. But we really want to make the experience for new players so incredible.
It doesn't seem good enough, I don't think, to be worth it. Comalis.
A Nexus form of Comagma, 4 attack
I call this
and
guy
2 defense, 1
Comalice. I
cost
don't know why I
Lunar.
didn't
It
think
says that you can Nexus up to
Comalis.
2 Lunar spirits.
When we
you
saw
do,
this
you
guy
can
in the
search your
leak.
deck for a Spectral Elestral and add it to
Spectral.
your hand.
I said
Spectral
ghosty,
Elestral's
but-
getting the search treatment here with the Nexus Elestral Comalis.
So yeah, this allows us to
This card is
search
going to be a monster.
Pharaoh
Not only does it
guys.
have the ability to move spirits around your field to get more damage.
This
off,
guy's gonna
to
be good.
activate receive effects, but that search
In
is
general, he's
incredibly
Exaltus
powerful
for
because much
Lunars.
like Exaltus in Solar and Daybreak, being able to search out the Ethereal Elestrals, Comalis searches out the Spectral Elestrals, and that's not just bound to one Spirit Elestrals. You can search things like Specterus, you can search things like Posthumous, and you can even search Farrageist. And
Yes!
more Elestrals that we're going to be revealing in these Moonrise
For sure,
reveals.
for sure, for
so
sure.
get super excited.
Oh,
the
man.
Posthumous starter deck, a must get when
Comalis
Moonrise
looks
drops.
quite
Man, this is
strong.
exciting.
I
Big shouts
like
to
him a
everybody who's
lot.
been supporting on Kickstarter. You can check the links in the description below, and don't forget our reveals are dropped one day early for our Kickstarter.
We'll let him
backers, so
keep
get
talking.
excited, get hyped up. Posthumous, Theraheart, Fondlet, and Comalis are coming. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another epic reveal.
All right. And here's that epic reveal.
It's time for us to
Fire.
turn up the heat with some brand new fire cards. As we
No more
count
Lunars.
down
We're looking at
every
fire
single
now.
day until Moonrise pre-orders open on November 15th. Let's get it. Don't forget that if you back our Elestrals Clash Kickstarter right now,
Don't forget
you
it.
actually get early access to these reveals one day early, so don't miss out. But let's talk about these brand new Fire Elestrals
Yes,
that
please.
are coming
I would like to see the new
Moonrise.
fire stuff.
First up
Fire
is a
Nexus.
familiar friend,
Fire Nexus is in a weird place because it's there's not a lot of there's like some good cards in there, but it's missing something. Let's see what maybe this will help. Cinder.
This card as a super essential piece to the mill strategy. Every time Cinder receives one or more fire spirits, your opponents must send the top three cards from their deck to the underworld. This allows you to use Nexus and other mechanics to get spirits onto Cinder and force your opponent to mill cards every single time, and you could whittle their entire
do
deck
something
down
crazy
as
with
an
that because that's not a
ultimate
once per
win
turn.
condition. Now this card is coming back in Moonrise because it has
There's
a
no
brand new
limitation on that.
Ascension Salashade. I personally always felt
Okay, so that's already
Cinder
existed, and then we
a
have
little bit
this.
extra, and we decided to create Salashade to ascend from it with a brand new element added to it. It is Fire and Lunar, and while it doesn't have the most daunting attack and defense stat at 3 and 3,
yeah, no,
this
that's
brand new
guy's
Fire and Lunar
nothing.
Elestral can do some serious work because it's going to get +1 attack for each Elestral in your opponent's underworld. So if
That's
you're playing
funny.
against somebody and you force them to mill and they continue to mill cards into their underworld, this card gets to astronomical attack levels as the game progresses. When
that's
a
gonna be a
player
fun-
casts an Elestral, you
a funny
or
deck,
your
actually.
An opponent must send the top 3 cards.
It would be
of their
fun for the
deck to
opponent,
underworld.
but
So Salashade has the opportunity to force your opponent to continue to mill themselves every time you or they cast Elestrals to the field.
Yeah.
Ultimately making Salashade even
that's
stronger.
quite
every
interesting.
single time they do that. This next Fire Elestral is going to
It's not
allow
easy to
those
get out,
fire
though,
decks
is the
to go
thing.
even more aggro, and that is Bellowbee. I absolutely love Bellowbee's design. One of my favorite new Elestrals in Moonrise.
Look at this little freak.
This has 2 attack and 2 defense, but a really incredible effect. Fire and Wind enchanted Elestrals
Interesting.
get +1 attack.
Flamamoth?
Itself, so you can pair this up with Wind Elestrals or Fire Elestrals and give them a nice buff. You can also target them as his active effect and give them the effect the Elestral is unaffected by counter runes until the next turn. That means if you pair Bellowbee with a strong Elestral next to it and it has a Wind or a Fire Spirit
That's
on it,
interesting,
you can
yeah.
target them and make them immune to counter runes until the next turn. that is incredibly
Doesn't have
powerful,
to
and you're also
disenchant
getting
either
some
for
attack
that, so it
buff.
just gets
This
to
card
do
is
that.
a great supporter card for fire decks, and I look for Bellow Beat to be strong not only in Moonrise, but for sets to come. I think this card has a lot of potential.
I feel like this
can't
guy
wait
is
for
not
you
gonna
guys
be able
get
to
your
stick to
hands
the
on it.
field very
Bellow
well,
Beat
but
does
you know,
ascend to
maybe
a brand new
just
Celestial,
getting
kinda
one
ties
attack
in
like
that
that could be
beautiful
good. I like the
with
guy's
wind
head.
with a new
It's
Celestial
a
called Infornax.
oh, what's the name of it?
Infornax is a 4-attack Celestial
Oh,
that
cool.
is fire and wind enchanted with 7
Makes
defense.
sense, yeah.
It has a really cool effect that says you can expend a wind spirit in order to return an opponent's card to their hand. So you can bounce cards back to their hand, and when
That
you
seems
cast an
good,
Celestial
yeah.
or rune with at least fire or wind, you can give this Infornax +2 attack until the end phase. So the turn he's cast out, he's actually going to get a nice little buff, and then every time you cast an Celestial or a rune, you can buff him up even stronger. So if you're utilizing a card like, let's say,
I don't
Gorgon's
know about that.
Gaze, or let's say Shield of Achilles, or any of those typical cards, and you're utilizing fire and wind spirits on your opponent's turn, you can buff up your Infornax as well. So some really cool potential with this card.
Oh,
I think
fire
this card
or
could actually
wind?
see some really significant play.
So it doesn't have to be
especially with
fire
Bellow Beat
and
entering the
wind.
meta.
That's good.
I'm really excited to see the synergies between fire and wind come together here in Moonrise. Get excited, but we're not even done. I've got one more Elestral
alright.
to reveal, and that is Torchin. Torchin will be one of our hollow rares.
Look at this
in
guy.
Moonrise, and this
Look at this funky little guy.
Elestriad Season 1, and I just love him. I feel like he really carries the spirit of Elestrals, and this is a card that you're going to see a lot of. I really love Torchin. It's a 1 attacker with 1 defense with a super cool effect. You guys have been asking me for a fire heal card, so I gave you Torchin, man. When this Torchin declares an attack, you return fire spirits from your underworld to your spirit deck up to the number of enchanting fire on your field. So if Torchin's your only thing and you attack, you get to heal 1. That doesn't seem like very good. But if you pair it with a divine rune like Hephaestus with 4 spirits on it, you have the opportunity to heal 5 by simply attacking. And you might say, hey,
Yeah.
how is Torchin going to attack when it only has 1 attack? Well, don't forget, you can attack into defense position Elestrals and just have nothing happen because
That's
there's
true.
no damage that you're taking.
Yeah.
You're just not knocking them out. I'm just saying, you can attack with Torchin into those defense position Astrabbits and make them punished, healing yourself up for 5 spirits with a Hephaestus.
That's actually kind of
You guys can have
interesting,
fun with
yeah.
this one. I love Torchin. I hope you guys are excited for it. A brand new Fire Elestral coming in Moonrise. Elestral's Clash Kickstarter is going
I was about to say
big,
that was
so don't
bad,
forget
but
to
the way
check
he
it out in the
explained it
description
there
below. You get
makes
those
a lot of
reveals 1 day
sense,
early.
actually.
Firecasters, I hope you're excited for brand new tools coming in Moonrise, including
That's
Infornax,
really interesting.
Salashade, and Torchin. Bellow Beat looks to be a menace as well. I think that card could be really fun to utilize. Thank you guys so much
Bellow
for
Beat
watching
could be
this video. I'll
strong.
see you guys tomorrow for
Yeah.
another epic
No, some of these
reveal.
are quite good. I think some of them, the 2 drops, of course, the 2 drops. I don't like those 2 drops so much, but I like where they're going. I just don't like how hard they're going to be to get out. But yeah. All right, we got one more of these.
New epic Moonrise reveals and
These are some
information
runes.
about Shattered Stars Scorpio, our next month of Shattered Stars that is gonna blow your mind. Get yourselves ready
Okay.
as we count down every single day until Moonrise pre-orders open on November 15th. Let's do it.
Wow, this is gonna be going for a while then, huh?
Big shout outs to everybody who's been supporting our Kickstarter so far for Elestrals Clash. Don't forget, Kickstarter backers get these reveals one day early. But without further ado, let's dive into the reveals. For those who haven't been involved in Shattered Stars, it's an incredible program where we send you 3 packs delivered to your door every single month for just $15. And those packs change every month with incredible collectible alt art rares that are sure to be dazzling in your collection. And our
They are
next
quite
series
nice.
of Shattered Stars does track down the constellations and zodiacs with Scorpio. But right now we have Celebration going on, and you still have time to grab that.
Yep.
Including a ton of
Unfortunately, I
reverse
don't think I'm going to be able
stellars,
to
4 reverse
afford
stellars.
to
Pull
keep
rates have
going
never
with
been
Shattered
better.
Stars.
We've got Stellar
But
Watch
it was
Stellar
quite nice
Zen
while I was
One,
able to.
Stellar
So
Imperial, and Stellar Majesty, and a ton of awesome cards to collect like Stained Glass Posthumous.
Look at those
and
4
Green
circle
Glass,
the
so do not
skies.
miss out on Celebration Month. But let's shift gears over to Scorpio. I already showed y'all how crazy and amazing that brand new constellation art is, and there are going to be a couple other incredible arts in this pack that you are not going to want to miss out on. The first
really?
new common card coming to Shattered Stars on November 1st is Galvenom. Galvenom actually getting a reprint for the first time, if I'm not mistaken, since its introduction in the starter deck. So this is a really nice timed one. 6 attack, 2
This
defense.
is a decent
I think
art.
This card is actually wicked, man. You can expend 3 thunder to
But I
target
don't-
and destroy up
I
to
don't
2
care.
cards, and it's an awesome art style by Daniel Reyes. And our next comment,
It's
of course,
good
is
art.
none
Good
other
art, for
than
sure.
Larvacell. Larvacell getting
Oh.
the Dan Suga Mosby treatment here in Shattered Stars. I absolutely love Larvacell, and I know y'all love this.
Luckily, I don't need
so I hope
Larvacell,
you guys
but
pick
man,
this
I
up.
do love
Shattered
those.
Stars, Scorpio. Of course, I'll have
Mosby
more
arts.
details about this over the coming days and weeks, so stay tuned as we close out of October and head towards our next chapter of Shattered Stars. All right, let's shift gears back to Moonrise because I know you guys are excited
Thank
about that.
ya.
First things
Moonrise.
first is our Artemis card. You guys already know about Artemis through the statue divine
already
that
seen
came
her.
out in Shattered Stars, but this is going to be Artemis regular art. You can pull this as a holo rare in your booster boxes, and it is in the starter decks as well. It is a 1-cost Lunar Divine. When you cast it, you can enchant it with more Lunar Spirits.
Artemis is interesting. I do wonder when Artemis seems like it's going to be good.
So not only can you suppress elestrals, which is
It's certainly one of the better divine runes, beyond just its ability to be a bank.
Stadiums and artifacts, you can shut off their effects and completely disrupt their strategy with the power of Artemis. Artemis does have a signature artifact coming in Moonrise,
but I don't know.
And that is the Bow of Artemis. This is a 1-cost
Lunar
artifact that says the empowered Elestral deals piercing damage. Piercing is the damage that takes place when an attack position Elestral attacks into a defense position Elestral. Typically, no damage is dealt there, but if you have a 3-spirit enchanted Elestral attacking a 1-spirit enchanted defense position Elestral, and they're empowered by the Bow of Artemis, they would take 2 spirits of damage because you would essentially calculate the damage while they're in defense position. When the empowered Elestral declares an attack, you can Nexus a Lunar Spirit from your Artemis to the empowered Elestral. So you can actually make your Elestral even stronger to ensure that you're dealing that damage. You have the piercing damage, and you can Nexus. And there's a few particular cards in Moonrise that really appreciate receiving Lunar Spirits and receiving Nexuses. So
Nabi,
get excited
of course.
for Bow of Artemis. Now, it may come as no
Interesting.
surprise to anybody, but we have a brand new stadium. And
That's a really interesting one.
Moon. This is probably my favorite stadium art that we've done.
It looks so nice.
Breathtakingly
and it's good that
Jack and
Lunars
RJ
have their
not
stadium
miss
now.
on this one. And much like our other stadiums, it's a 1-cost Lunar. It buffs up the Lunar Elestrals that are enchanted with Lunar by +1/+1, so they get a nice little
Well,
buff
the funny
depending on how
thing,
many
so the
spirits
funny
they
thing
have
about the stadiums, I don't know if you know this already, I'm not telling you anything new, but the funny thing about the stadiums is they don't say a Lunar Elestral enchanted with Lunar. It just says Elestrals enchanted with Lunar. So you can misenchant things and have them buffed up.
We've done across the board for our stadiums, but we did round out the 8 different stadiums for each element, and Temple of the Moon might just
Hopefully
be
we'll
the
start
best
getting
art yet.
some
I've been pretty open about the fact
new
that
ones now.
runes or runes that can use any element type are going to be reduced in future sets, and you'll start to see that as more sets come out.
That's
I
probably
kind of
for the
create
best.
more element-specific runes, but we do have an Omni rune coming here in Moonrise, and that is Divine Healing, and this card has some really interesting implications. It's a 1-cost rune that allows you to enchant up to 3 spirits from your underworld to a divine rune on your field. This is
Now
basically
this seems
Ambrosia
quite
2,
strong
but
to
you have
me.
to do it for your divine runes, which is
It is not
very
Ambrosia
interesting,
strong.
especially
I will say that.
considering
It is
it's
not
element
Ambrosia
specific.
strong,
So you
but it
can
does
use
seem
this
strong to
enchant
me.
different elemental spirits to your divine rune, and then you can utilize cards
Especially,
like encounter runes to use
you know,
those spirits
obviously
to essentially
Nexus
siphon
decks,
them off
it's
the
going to be
field. It's a little bit
a
more
decent
situational, not quite
option.
as ubiquitous as an Ambrosia would be. But there's a lot
Exactly,
of really
yeah.
cool things you can do with Divine Healing, and I certainly expect this card to
I
make
think
an
this makes
impact in
Nexus
Moonrise.
decks a little bit better.
Don't forget to check out our
potentially.
incredible Elestrals Clash Kickstarter going on right now, and backers
A big
get early
problem
access
with
to
Nexus
these
decks
reveals
is they
one day
run out
early, so don't
of
miss out on that. As we count
spirits
down our
in the
32 days
deck
of Moonrise
and on the
until pre-orders
field.
open on November 15th. I'll see you guys tomorrow for another epic reveal.
And that helps you do that. A big problem is you still have to have a divine rune on the field, which means that you have to not fully remove all the spirits from your divine rune and then use that card. So if you've already used up that, you've already lost the ability to do that card. So if you draw that after the turn after you've used up your divine rune, it's gonna be a rough time. Maybe it just ends up you start leaving those on the field in the hopes of drawing the divine healing. But I don't know. I would like to see a card like that for Elestrals, like a Elestral healing or something. I don't know. We'll see if that ever happens. But yeah, the cards look quite strong. I'm really looking forward to Voldusk. I think Voldusk and the Lunar phases could potentially be a quite strong deck. I think some of the new fire stuff looks interesting. I think the Torch guy, whatever his name is, has a lot of potential, especially against, it like can really help you outpace heal strategies if you're on fire. But also it kind of seems like it's the best heal card, so it's gonna make heal like a lot better if it goes fire, But it's the only heal card for fire, so maybe that wouldn't be something they'd actually consider doing, you know. Yeah, a lot of interesting implications. I think the Posthumous stuff is interesting, but except for exactly Posthumous himself, those cards are quite strong, but he is not. But you might consider playing him just in case. I don't know. It's I don't think so. I don't think so. The Volclips, everything beyond Voldusk seems not good. I don't see anyone playing that stuff very often. And if they are playing it, they're playing one copy of each, right? Comalis is really good. Trying to remember what else. Ectopossum, really good. Night Venom seemed all right, and the one under it was pretty good. Lunar phases are a mixed bag, but I think there's enough good ones in there to be worth playing a Voldusk strategy, like that Voldusk control style thing I was describing to you. And yeah, I think that's about all I have to say then, as far as summing this all up goes. Oh, the Artemis equip is quite interesting too. And you know, with the Argo, you don't really have to worry about playing like more than one copy of it. You can just play Argo instead. Although I feel like it's not a particularly good Argo target either, because it's not like it's not something that really does anything at quick play speed, right? It doesn't like do anything surprising at quick play speed. Other than I guess it does allow for some nexusing, so that's cool, like some quick nexusing. So that's neat. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, these all look quite nice. Moonrise is shaping up to be a very interesting set. I'm really looking forward to Moonrise. I'm really looking forward to how it shakes up the meta. I think it could do some really interesting stuff. So yeah, very very happy about these. And then we still have several more weeks to go. So I'll see you next Monday, I suppose, for some more new cards. See you then. Let me know what you think of these down below. Bye-bye. Hey there, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I've got a lot more for you if you want them. Just hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to get notifications. I'd also appreciate if you left me a like and a comment and maybe shared the video around with your friends. You can also follow me on all the usual social media sites. Just check out my website in the description below for more info. My videos are funded by my patrons and YouTube members, whose names you'll see scrolling by in these credits here. For just $1 a month, you too can find yourself here, trapped in my end screen for all eternity. In particular, I'd like to thank Haru Hayes, Fleekill, Frog Prince Michael, and Jeremiah Coatney. A big thanks to all my other patrons and to my little community as a whole. Remember to be kind to yourselves, be kind to others, and have a wonderful whatever time it is for you. Bye.